So, Avengers Endgame. I'm literally between jobs, so I thought I'd just throw this out there. My penny's worth, simply because most of my friends aren't going to be seeing it until the weekend, and it's currently Friday, about 11:45, and yeah, no one else has seen it yet, apart from like 2 people. And my brother's seeing it tomorrow at 10 PM, so I've got no one to speak to about it. So this is my just rambling about the bloody film, which I thought was pretty good. Understatement, I thought it was really good. The 3 hours did not drag at all. The opening bit where this is going to be like completely full of spoilers, by the way, so if you've not seen it yet, by all means click off and come back afterwards if you want. Right, so the start where Captain Marvel saves Iron Man and Nebula, called that straight away. I knew that was going to happen. I just had a feeling in the pit of my stomach. Seeing Tony come back like completely malnourished I wasn't quite expecting it, and like him being so snappy towards the rest of the team about them not being there, was not expecting that, although it makes sense story wise to have him be pushed away to then come back again. I think he needs to be pushed away in order to go and start a family, which makes what happened to Tony Stark even more of a gut punch. What happened? They did the whole timey-wimey thing, didn't they? I like how it's all happened because of one rat, like at one specific time. The timey-wimey stuff. Loki used a space stone, so I think we are going to see Loki again in the future, but it's not going to be the Loki that we saw in Infinity War, obviously, because he had a character arc where he was less of a douche. So we're going to get the Loki that we saw at the end of the first Avengers film, which is obviously he was more of a douche. So looking forward to that, which would explain why Disney are doing the whole Loki series. So that would be worth looking at, see what happens there. What else happened? I'm just scratching my back. Scarlet Witch dying was horrible, because I kind of think it should have been Hawkeye, and I did record myself about what I thought was going to happen, and I called the sacrifice between Hawkeye and Black Widow, and I thought that Black Widow was going to survive and Hawkeye was going to, or was it the other way around? You know what, I can't remember. I think it was such a toss-up between the two, I couldn't decide which one would suit the story more. It kind of sucks that Black Widow's not coming back, although I think she is out there somewhere. Because of what happened in Infinity War when Thanos was speaking to to young Gamora, I think they are there somewhere. They're somewhere within time and space, stuck in the Soul Stone, but I don't quite know where. I think that might be somehow linked to Black Panther due to their dream world state thingamajig. I've not quite worked it out in my head how they could do it, but no doubt the writers somewhere I've got an inkling. Yeah, so Black Widow dying was a gut punch, although I expected one of them to die. But with the Black Widow film coming out, I thought Black Widow would have survived. So I'm now presuming that the Black Widow film is just going to be a prequel as to her being in the Red Room and then being captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. Which, you know what, I'll give that a watch. What else happened? Captain America going back in time. I'll be honest, I thought he was going to die. I didn't think it was going to be like that, or well, not die. No, I thought he was going to die. I didn't think he was going to just live longer. I thought it was going to be a joint effort between Iron Man and Cap, where they would both snap somehow, both knowing that they were both going to die, but they would do it because it was like the end of their story sort of thing. I don't think Personally, I think Falcon was the wrong choice for Captain America. I would prefer to see Bucky. I think Bucky's had a great story arc than what Falcon has. Falcon is just a dude with cool wings and like a remote control bird. That's it. Whereas Bucky has got the super soldier thing going about him. He was good, then he was bad, and now he's good again, and like that to me just made more sense than just Falcon becoming Captain America. But I'm willing to see how it goes. What else happened? Obviously Iron Man dying sucked massively. I mean, Iron Man is my favourite MCU character. I think Robert Downey Jr. is not only a decent actor, I think he's an amazing bloke. To see where he was, like prior to Iron Man, he wasn't unknown. He was like, well, do your own research. He was not trusted in the business, and to go from being paid only 500 grand for Iron Man to basically being the start, the very first brick in the MCU, to being one of the highest paid actors on the planet from where he was back then, I think is incredible. And he just comes across as such a nice bloke as well. Yeah, I kind of wish he hadn't gone. I would have liked to have seen him work with Shuri. I would have liked to see him to go to Wakanda, because obviously the tech is like next level over there. That would have been nice to see, but obviously we're not going to see that, or at least we presume we're not going to see that. Although there's apparently going to be a Disney series of like a what if, and it's going to be back in time with Captain America and Peggy Carter. So we could well see something regarding Iron Man and Tony Stark, so that could be good. Apparently the young lad who was at Tony's funeral is supposed to be the lad from Iron Man 3, the guy who was in his garage when Iron Man was having his panic attacks and stuff. So that's going to be our next Iron Man, which he looks to be the same sort of age as Shuri, so I think we're going to see that develop instead. Kind of sucks thinking about it now that we didn't see Hulk and Black Widow actually get together. That would have been really, really nice, but obviously Hulk is now Professor Hulk and he's only got one arm, although I think his arm is going to regenerate. I just think it's going to take a lot of time. But as I say, I think Black Widow is still out there. I think our Gamora is still out there, although they're going to go looking for past Gamora who doesn't know the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's going to be interesting. I don't quite know how they're going to do that, especially considering I would have thought, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is going to have like as Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's going to have like the as spray paint at the front, and we're obviously supposed to be getting Adam Warlock as well. So how they're going to tie in all of that and Gamora, I'm not too sure, but I think Nebula is going to play a huge role in that. I'll be honest, I got quite teary at the Ant-Man bit when he saw Cassie. That, I don't even know why, that almost set me off like completely. I was proper teary-eyed at that point. Yeah, that was well emotional, man, because he'd only been gone 5 hours and then suddenly his daughter's like 5 years older. So I think we're going to get a young Avengers as well, which will consist of Cassie Lang as Ant-Man. Is she Ant-Man in the comics? She's one of the mans. We'll get a Shuri as a Black Panther / Iron Man, which will be cool. We're going to get young Iron Man, which will be cool. Possibly Peter Parker being like the bridge between the two. And then I can't think of who else is young enough. But but I think that could work. They teased female Avengers as well. I've got to admit, seeing Pepper Potts suited up in her nanotech, that was quality as well. I really like that. I would like to see a female Avengers film, to be fair. I'm disappointed that they didn't give a hint, unless I completely missed it. As I say, I've only seen the film once, so I might go and see it again at the weekend to see whether there's anything that I missed. But it would be nice to have seen a hint towards X-Men and mutants, and also the Fantastic Four with the re-snap. But obviously everyone's just been re-snapped, so I think if we do get a proper hint to it, it's going to be in Far From Home, which I think is supposed to be, if you was to imagine Endgame being the bookend of this saga, the Infinity Stone saga, then I think Far From Home is going to be the end credits to that. So I think that's just going to be the rounding off. That's going to be the answering of the last few questions, because obviously everyone who was snapped away in the first place has not aged. So we saw Peter Parker go back to school with presumably people that we saw his mate, which I've forgotten his name of. We know from the trailer of Far From Home that everyone is still there. So you'd presume that everyone was snapped at who Peter knew, which I just don't know of the odds on that. It's yeah, I don't know. Brilliant film though. I'd say I got teary a couple of times. Oh Jesus Christ, I forgot about bloody Captain America and the epoxy hammer. That was cool. I thought it was going to happen. It happened a lot more than what I thought it was going to. I thought he was going to wield it once and then that was it. But no, he was throwing it around and everything. That was cool to see. It was nice to see as well. And I think as soon as we saw that happen, we kind of knew that Cap wasn't going to be around. He wasn't going to be around for much longer. So I presume the Captain America series, which is basically going to be like a Netflix type series, is going to be what happened between him going back in time to when he reappeared in Endgame. I think there's going to be a baby Steve Rogers somewhere. Maybe he will be in the Young Avengers as well, although that means that he would have had to have conceived a child when he was in his 90s, because I think he's supposed to be well over 100 in the end of Endgame. So I don't quite know how that would work, but it would make sense for there to be a younger Captain America. Yeah, I reckon, what's his name, Rami Malek, who was in Bohemian Rhapsody, I know he's just been confirmed to be the Bond villain, but I reckon he could play, he's young enough to play another bad guy, but in the MCU. That could work. I don't know how, but that could work. Possibly the proper Mandarin as well. That would be cool. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go for that. Rami Malek, that is his name. If it's not his name, I've made myself look stupid multiple times, which is more than usual. I could see that, him playing the real Mandarin. Potentially. So, yeah, if you've not seen Endgame, then I've just ruined it all for you. If you have seen it, then, yeah, you know what? I would like to start a podcast of just chatting about the films after they come out. Just purely audio, no visual stuff whatsoever. That would be awesome. But yeah, that was a quality film. I feel like I do need to see it again. People actually clapped at the end. Oh my god, we were sitting next to some teenagers. They must have been 16, 17 maybe. Apparently, thankfully they were on my wife's side. Apparently she was crying massively. I mean, I got teary. I welled up. I think ever since I've got married, I've become a right softie. Everything just makes me feel really emotional in regards to these things, but I'm blaming it on like being invested in the MCU for like the last 10 years. That's my excuse anyway. But yeah, apparently they were like proper crying and stuff, but the crowd cheered when Steve Rogers picked up the hammer. The bit that got me the most, I think, was Ant-Man coming back to Cassie. That got me the most. Then Iron Man dying. Then Steve Rogers picking up the hammer. That was quality. Really enjoyed that. There's like dog walkers walking past me and they must think I'm absolutely nuts just talking to my phone. So yeah, that was quality. I've got to see it again. I would like to see what box set they're going to do, because in phase 1 they did the Tesseract with like a load of films, like the whole of phase 1 up to the Avengers. Then phase 2, I can't remember, what was that? Was that Guardians of the Galaxy or was that phase 3? I can't remember, but each one cost like 120 to 150 pounds. And obviously the people who didn't pre-order it, the resale was like 50% on top of what it was worth. Even like a few months down the line, it was just insane. And that was just pre-owned. That wasn't like brand new. I'm fairly sure the phase 1 box set is now worth like stupid amounts of money. Yeah, I would like to see what they're going to do. I think it's going to have to be a gauntlet of some kind. I would like to see the Iron Man gauntlet, because that looked freaking awesome. I'm so gutted that bloody Hulk and Black Widow didn't get together. And the Vision's gone. Like, he's not reared his head. But then again, like, there wasn't enough time to delve into what's happened in Wakanda. I think part of Vision's consciousness is still there somewhere, like in Wakanda. I don't know. I just don't know. There's so many questions that need to be answered, and Endgame answered a lot of them, but there's still a hell of a lot more that need to be answered, and I don't quite know how they're going to answer them unless they just wait until like the next film and do it that way. I'm excited for as Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's going to be good. Looking forward to see Adam Warlock, but they've obviously got to bring Gamora back into the fold, which will be interesting, unless they somehow find our version of Gamora. Yeah, I don't know, I've got to see it again, but that's my thoughts going away from it. This is me 18 hours afterwards. It was brilliant, but yeah, I've got to see it again, and at some point I'm gonna have to sit down and watch every film back to back, which in hindsight I should have done, but we was like rushing through Game of Thrones, because obviously Game of Thrones is like ending, full stop, like period. So we know that Endgame was just the end of this saga. So that's my penny's worth. That's my thoughts of the day. I might do this again. I've got no idea. I might do it for Game of Thrones, because that's episode 3 is out in like 3 days. It's the first big battle. Oh man, this is such a year for entertainment. It is brilliant. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, that's it. That's it from me. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And yeah, love you 3000.